with AWBA National Champion Eddie Hutchins. I want to ask a couple questions, Eddie, and I want them to be specific to targeting and alignment. So I want to know a little bit about when you get ready to approach and get up there next to the foul line, what are you looking to do with your setup before you get ready to deliver on the lanes?
Well, as everyone else, I begin first in warm-up learning where I need to be sitting. But once I grab the ball and I go up to line up for a delivery, I will angle my chair. I actually like to angle my chair at my target so that when I come through my ball, I'm actually coming direct with my wheels through to my target. A lot of guys and a lot of the better bowlers have instructed me or questioned me as to why I align my chair at an angle, but I just cannot hit my mark as well if I don't angle my chair. So some people will have their chair straight. As you'll see, when I deliver my ball, I like to turn it, and gives me a little better follow through so that I can hit my mark.
So I can ask a little, even more specifically, when you're getting ready to align, you said you're using your wheels specifically. Are you going to use the front casters to align specifically to a spot, or the back wheels, or a combination?
I do. I actually come in a little wider to the left of where I like to sit, and then I turn my chair in and I will align my my mark off of my front right caster.
Okay.
And at that point, I'll lock my brakes on my wheels, as well as the caster locks on the front wheels. The caster locks, as we've spoke before, will keep my chair, the front end of my chair, from moving right and left.
Excellent. If you don't mind, we'd love to see what it looks like. You got a second to throw one for us?
I do.
Excellent. Let's see it. Unbelievable. Great shot, Eddie. Excellent job. Easy to see that a national champion is giving you great proof here that alignment, not from just what he sees visually on the lane, but also from how he sets up his chair, is going to give you the best chance to really knock down not only the most amount of pins, but give you that alignment consistently from shot to shot. Great shot, Eddie. Couldn't ask for any better than that. Thanks again. Appreciate the information.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, Eddie, I want to talk real quickly about advantage and disadvantage. There's a lot of things when people would look at a chaired bowler, they may say one way or the other that they can be as competitive or not as competitive. I just want to talk kind of myths for a second. I think one of the things that the traditional upright player may run into, and I think is a liability for us, is when we start and get to the foul line, when we get to the finish position, there's an inconsistency in how we land, how we get there. I think in the chaired version of your guys' competition and your play, it's not the same option because you guys have a different finish at the foul line.
Correct. I believe one of the greater advantages to being a chair bowler is I can position my chair, my angle, everything exactly the same every time I go to the line. I like to turn my chair, which gives that just a little bit of variance. However, it's still more consistent than some of the able-bodied bowlers are.
Yeah, I would say definitely that's one of the big liabilities run into. Players may start the same place, may align themselves the same direction, but they're not always landing in the same spot when they finish, and that's a liability because, as we know on the lanes, accuracy left or right, maybe a board or two or a little miss here and there, are going to make a big difference on the score sheet. Now, I also want to address perhaps one of the liabilities. Change the switch here for a second, trying to turn it over. I think one of the things that able-bodied players are able to generate is ball speed. Definitely a liability, you think, maybe for chair players.
Absolutely. When we decide, number one, what ball to buy, because of our slower speeds, we're going to get a ball that's got a little less revolutions on it. Maybe a polished ball, a urethane ball that's going to go a little further for us before it hooks. Sure. Compared to buying a solid ball that's going to start a little too soon for us. We do have a few bowlers on the tour that can throw the higher ball speeds, 15, 16 miles an hour, and they can throw whichever ball they choose. But some of the slower ball speeds, definitely the quads like Wayne, Maybe our I-can bowler is going to use a polished ball or a urethane ball.
Sure. So anybody getting into it or even starting to become more competitive in the sport, from the chair perspective, may not walk into the pro shop and look for the most high performance piece of equipment, because initially we're expecting them to not have as much overall ball speed as someone that may be upright and more able-bodied. So a great tip there when it comes down to identifying how somebody can become more competitive is to start with the ball weight, obviously, that works for you and gives you ball speed. But as you develop your technique and it becomes easier to do, then you're going to want to not just increase the type of ball, but your ball speed is going to go with that, correct?
Correct. Yeah, you might start out with that entry level ball that just isn't quite as strong, has a lower RG.
Right. So the dynamics, and I want to reference something really quickly that you said. Purchasing a ball does not mean you're going to purchase revolutions with that ball. Now, we talk about a ball being stronger, having the characteristics or dynamics of being more aggressive. So the surface may have more traction to it. The core is designed to be strong and give you motion. It really takes the player's input to that ball at the line when they deliver it to give them all the characteristics that ball's going to have as it goes down the lane. And as you, as a national champion, as an elite player, know, you're going to start out introductory, you're going to probably move up, and you may not ever get to that high performance ball because your ball speed just doesn't get you there. You may wind up having your most hooking bowling balls still be in that mid performance level, right?
Absolutely. I started with the low end. In fact, I started with plastic ball.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of hook from it. Still can hook a plastic because of the speed.
Right.
I throw my ball 11 or 11 and a half miles an hour. But now I can flatten my hand a little bit or come through the ball a little more and control a little bit of that revolutions. But definitely an entry-level ball is where we all should probably start.
Excellent. Great information. Whether you're disadvantages or advantages on both sides of being either in the chair or being a standing player. Either one, you're definitely going to see when it comes down to it, the game's still the same overall, right? Knock down the pins, have a great time.
Absolutely.
Thanks
This is a great family sport. Come out and have a good time with us.
Excellent. Hi, I'm here with Kenneth Hill, AWBA titleist, 2016 A Division champion.
That's correct.
And I want to talk briefly about some information from you regarding swing and delivery. I've learned that the balance is very important when it comes to high-level competition. When I'm seeing you guys compete, and we talked briefly about stabilization for the chair and all that, I want to talk about your specific address and kind of how you stabilize yourself, and want to see that here in a second. You have a different technique when it comes to stabilizing yourself inside that chair, getting ready to deliver. Talk a little bit about what you do.
Well, Stephen, that is correct. Stabilization is very important. Mm-hmm. And what I usually do is I use a hook procedure where I'm grabbing my chair and also wrapping my stabilizing arm on the wheel, grabbing it and stabilizing and hooking.
Great.
Lately, I've been also wearing a glove because this also gives me a better stabilization because my hand is not going to slip off the wheel. So once I grab, I hook, and I hold myself. Once I release, this hand is going to come up. So very important. And also, one of the reasons I stabilize myself is because I'm balanced in my chair. The chair is in the right position, but I also have to be balanced.
Right. If I remember correctly, your chair is a folding chair, and it's a little bit more unstable than some of the other solid frames that are out there. So the cushion that you got, from my understanding, is one that helps you stabilize yourself inside the chair when the chair is not as stable as perhaps one of the solid frames.
That's right, Stephen. I have a air cushion, and this cushion also has 4 quadrants where I can move the air around in the cushion. So if I want to be a little higher on my left side, I can move the air over there.
Great.
On my right side, rather, I can move the air over there, and it keeps me a little bit more balanced in the chair. And you're right, my chair does move, so this helps me a lot more with the balance.
Great. So you've got great tools that also adapt to your chair's how it moves, as well as how you're going to perform your shot.
Right.
We'd love to get a chance to see what it looks like. You mind throwing one for us?
I'll throw a couple of them.
Let's see what it looks like.
All right.
So at a higher competition level, obviously it's important to have a stable foundation, to have that consistency so that you can align yourself, so that you feel comfortable, and you're able just to deliver the same speed and the same hand position each time.
right.
So I can definitely see the difference in how your chair doesn't allow you to be as stable, but you've developed a system that helps you align yourself and become stable. Any other techniques or things you've seen players do just to stabilize themselves in their chairs?
Yeah, absolutely. Some you will see they'll bring their feet in, you know, and they'll come up, they'll lock their casters,
Sure.
whatever mechanism they have on their chair, and yeah, just a matter of position. I've also seen players where they've gotten up and they move their body completely over to this side of the chair, sometimes half out of the chair.
Wow.
That's their method of bowling. I possibly couldn't do that, of course, but it all depends on just how much balance you have in your core.
Yeah, it reminds me of the physical abilities of a lot of the players I get a chance to work with. We talk about the center of gravity or how players balance themselves when they're getting from start to finish on the approach. And the lower center of gravities tend to be better, and the closer we can get the weight to that swing momentum, the easier it is for players to be stable and maintain balance and accuracy.
That's right.
So it not only makes sense for players that are stand-up players, but also chair players to make sure that center of gravity is as close as it is to the swing and delivery. And ultimately, when those pieces fit together and you're able to repeat, the sky's the limit when it comes to scores, right?
High scores.
Excellent. Thanks for your help. We appreciate the information. And we look forward to seeing you out there again on the AWBA Tour.
Yeah, come on, watch us bowl.